let me switch to another kind of segment related to this, because like one of the guys that was taking the most heat was Dan Bongino. And like Dan Bongino was taking a lot of heat, and I think some of it was unfair. Like Pam Bondi is his boss, right? Like people don't know that. Like Dan Bongino was in no position to release the files. Mm-hmm. Kash Patel was in no position to release the files, at least from what I understand how government works. Dan Bongino had a chance on Friday to, a lot of people say he's cooked or whatever, I don't care. I know how this stuff works. I think he could have totally redeemed himself with at least 85% of his audience. If he had quit and said, I promise transparency and I just can't get it. You know, the swamp is too deep and I'm stepping down. He could have returned to his show, and most people, I would have forgiven him. You know, some people might have been weirdly butthurt, but I'm not sure they're big Bongino fans in the first place. Now that he's returned to work and kind of just gotten real quiet, do you think that, I'll start with Sarah and then just work our way up here. Like, do you think they got him? Do you think he's fallen in line?
Oh my gosh, I have no idea. I would love to give you an answer, but I don't know. I mean,
Wimp. You have an idea.
I mean, probably. I don't think anyone knows what's really going on. Like, what do they have on Trump? That's like the more important question to me. It's like, yeah, if they're able to have something on Trump, they're able to have something on Dan Bongino. Why is Trump not standing up to this? So, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. Are they like threatening people's families? Maybe. Are they?
It's possible.
This is what, like, these are the questions we're asking. Like, why is it so impossible to get any answers about this? And I have the same question for not just Dan Bongino, but Kash Patel as well, and for Trump. And
well, Kash said he was going to turn the FBI into a museum on day one. What Kash Patel actually did was move the FBI into a new, fancier, bigger building. Like, that is, I mean, and I know, like, people like these guys, but like, damn, man, could you have done more of the opposite of what you said? Luke, get in here with an actual take here. Sarah with her lily-livered, I think she's going to share a real take after we're offline, but like, I think Dan, like, I have a lot of respect for Dan, and I thought he could have saved, you know, a lot of his credibility if he had stepped down.
Yeah. So
he may still, but it seems like he's just back to business as usual now.
Yeah, it seems like Dan kind of read the room more than anything else. And this is what I've been saying from the very beginning of this, that Trump is calling the shots here. And people are like, shut up. No, he's not. It's all Pam Bondi. I'm like, no, it's Trump calling all the shots here. When we look at what happened here, it looked like Bongino tried to do a PR saving grace, and he tried to throw Pam Bondi under the bus with this PR move. And a lot of
she did to him too, though, to be fair, Luke, right? Like, she's so the one that said she had the files, and then she made Dan look like an idiot because he can't release them.
Pam Bondi's office leaked to the media that Bongino thought that this video, that, by the way, now is missing nearly 3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes. Right? And has been spliced together. Pam Bondi's office leaked to Axios that Bongino thought that this video was going to change everyone's mind, even though it's the adjacent hallway and just one entry out of multiple entries to this thing. I don't believe that was true. Bongino had his surrogates all come out at TPUSA and say, Pam Bondi is the scapegoat. Pam Bondi's the one. Pam Bondi needs to go. Pam Bondi. Trump called Charlie Kirk and was like, stop criticizing Pam Bondi, released a message saying Pam Bondi's great, we love her, we support her. Kash Patel was then told, hey, are you with us or are you with Bongino? Now you need to also fall on the sword. And
he cucked too.
We want you to post on Twitter how you love working for me and how this is all crazy conspiracy theories. And Kash Patel was like, okay. Now the rumors are speculating that Bongino is on the outs, and there's a huge on war, and no one from the White House is talking or interacting with the deputy director of the FBI. I just sent you a clip right now in the private chat that I think is worth looking at here, because I think this is the timeline of events that people need to look at. And this feud between Bondi and Bongino is real, but Bongino going back to work, staying silent and being a part of Trump telling his base and his supporters that they're all losers and idiots and weaklings for talking about this is making him a part of this. And I would say there is some legitimate criticism against him because he also lied. He also told everyone Epstein absolutely killed himself in that hostage video that Trump probably made them say and do on Fox News.
That was one of the worst. Like, I've seen Taliban beheading videos.
Yes.
And they had like the same look in their eyes.
Yeah.
Like they had the 1,000-yard stare. I want to get Hannah Claire's take before I play this clip. What do you think? What do you make of Bongino returning to work? And then, by the way, of course, our favorite. I'm sorry, I don't want to put anyone else. My favorite, Benny Johnson, putting out a video titled, "I've spoken to top FBI sources. Dan Bongino returns. Megas united." That got 890,000 views, by the way, in a day.
It's crazy.
I mean, I think there are a lot of people who want MAGA to be united because they want it to be effective. The reality is, like, it is obviously not. There's obviously mounting tensions in the Department of Justice with Dan Bongino, you know, and we talked about this the other day. I think he's in a really difficult position because he's actually subject to a lot of the same pressures that all of the binder influencers are, right? Like if they want access, they have to continue to cooperate with the administration. If he wants to stay with the FBI, then he has to get along with Pam Bondi. If he wants to go back to his other job, he has to have a way to have credibility with the people who supported him before. And that's something that most people don't have. They're not sort of temporarily in the administration, because I assume once President Trump is done in office, Dan Bongino would want to go back to his media career. I always assume there's a factor that we're not aware of, and I can't say exactly what it is, but the simplest could just be that Dan Bongino has wanted to be in this position for a long time and he doesn't want to give it up. On the other hand, maybe he is planning on leaving and he's just waiting for a more dramatic moment. It's hard to say.
It does take time to quit a job like that. I don't think you just walk out the door.
Yeah,
I've always heard that with
maybe
the
at least
federal
a 2
government,
weeks
you quit
notice.
and it takes 2 months or something.
Yeah, so he may have quit. I saw Tim just put out a video. Tim's been relatively balanced on this. He's had some boners that I've shared some laughs with some people about who, with this whole Trump's going to release it, Trump's not going to release it. But he just put out a video now that said, Trump explodes on supporters. And I think the tides are, I think Tim's tried to stay relatively neutral. Now he put out a 30-minute
about how this was all he was hypothetically talking about how this was a cover for his immigration raids.
Right,
so
right.
Doing this, so no one talks about his immigration rate. I'm like, no, I disagree
Trump
with
would
that.
love it if you talked about his immigration raids.
Yeah,
that was a cope.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are doing copes because they're smart, unlike me, and they don't put out videos saying Benny Johnson's a liar. They know that a portion. I know there's a portion of my base that just I read it in chat, that are like, you're an idiot, you're not loyal to Trump, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, there's a reason I've had a YouTube channel for 3 presidents. I'm not making my whole persona blowing Donald Trump. I think he's done a lot of great things, and obviously he's the better choice over Kamala Harris, and it's not even close. But I'm not going to, say that he's playing some 8th dimensional chess when I don't have to take, DC Drano's word on Twitter, what Trump's up to. He's doing infinite, media interviews. There's been 3 media interviews where he called it an Epstein thing, a hoax. I don't need, Benny Johnson to tell me how Donald Trump feels about the Epstein files.
Yeah, and also the whole reason why people like Trump isn't just because we randomly like this guy named Donald Trump, we're going to be loyal to him. It's because of what he's promised us and because of what he's done. And that's basically mass deportations, no foreign wars, and fighting against the system and releasing the Epstein files. Well, we've already got striked Iran. We
gave more weapons to Ukraine.
Ukraine. We haven't had that many deportations yet. And now we're giving amnesty to farm workers and hospitality. And now he's saying the Epstein files are a Democrat hoax. So it's why should we keep defending everything he does? The whole reason we supported him is because we wanted him to do certain things. We're not supposed to be loyal to someone no matter what they do. It's just ridiculous.
what do you make? I'll go to Hannah Claire and Luke. What do you, just to put a bow on this Bongino thing, what's your prediction now? Do you think, and again, I think Dan Bongino got a raw deal because Pam Bondi screwed him over. Do you think he stays now and rides it out? Or do you think he's already put in his papers? Like, there's a lot of like, you know, Linda Yaccarino quit X, the CEO of X quit, and there was no public hoopla. And the fact of the matter was she had put her notice 2 months before that. Mm-hmm. It's entirely possible that Dan Bongino has put his notice in and that there's time now that's going to have to go by, before he's actually officially out.
Right.
What do you think his play is now?
I have never been, like, nothing against him. I just don't follow or consume his content before he took this office that regularly. So I feel like I'm not well versed enough on his personal ambitions to say. Part of it is I think if you're going to leave behind a successful media career like that, you probably do have some sort of call. Now, whether it's to power or to service, I can't say. But the fact that he was getting a position in the Trump administration obviously was meaningful enough for him to leave behind the career he had built, which was very successful.
Millions a year for $150,000 or whatever his salary is. Yeah.
And so whether that be like, if it's power motivated, then maybe he is leaving because he's in this struggle with Pam Bondi. And if it's service motivated, then I think then he's going to stay. And so I'm kind of leaning towards staying because, you know, it is early in the Trump administration, and maybe a lot of them are hoping there is a way to resolve this conflict quickly. As I say, a lot of them have their eyes on midterms and their careers afterwards. Being in the Trump administration for only 6 months doesn't give you the same kind of punching power that a year, 2 years, 3 years does. I mean, this is a little bit of a indirect comparison, but Jen Psaki, the Biden first White House spokesperson, she left after 2 years for a media career. And Dan Bongino could go back to his media career, but I'm sure he would rather potentially stay on, get more experience, and I assume potentially be in another Republican administration. So he's got reason to hold out. I'm going to say right now, probably he's staying. But
he's also got plenty of money. It's not like he needs to go back.
Right.
I think he has like 100,000 shares of Rumble or some insane number too. Like he's got wealth. So it's like, you could make the argument, well, he gave up a bunch of money. Well, maybe he, like you said, maybe he was service orientated and he's like, well, I have 200 million in the bank. What do I care? Yeah. Like, I want to go do this thing.
But he's not money motivated, right? If he was money motivated, I could see that decision being made here. But him leaving a multi-million-dollar contract and a multi-million-dollar show to work as a government lackey for like, what is it, $200,000 a year? Highlights. It's not money that he cares about. It's his reputation. It's his legacy. And that's what a lot of people start to care about later in their lives. When they
get older. Yeah.
So I think, you know, this is something that we need to kind of put into the calculations here of how things are unfolding here, because, you know, and listen, I talk to people and I have the people that I talk to that, and I shouldn't say anymore, but this is a sinking ship. Let's just be honest with ourselves here. This is something that is not good. The more Trump digs a hole in himself, the less of a good political future he's going to be having. And I think people are making the calculations being like, yeah, do I want to be on this sinking ship or do I want to get off?